All right, guys. We're gonna officially start the meeting. Welcome to another set of meeting. For just announcements, the JPL trip is tomorrow. We still have a couple spots. I believe we have 3 more spots that are available. If you still want to go, just go see Dwayne to fill out the forms and your $10. Give him your $10 deposit to hold your spot. And for tomorrow, we are meeting at the south parking lot.
Yeah, by the police station, where the van parking is.
Where the vans are. If you don't know where that is, where the tennis courts are, or the police station, just meet there at 6:45. We will leave directly at 7 at 7. So don't plan to be here. Plan to arrive around 9 o'clock. Plan to arrive back in Visalia around 9 o'clock. So don't plan anything that day if you are going.
At 9 p.m.
9 p.m. Yes. That's when we get back. We leave in the morning.
We leave in the morning at 7 o'clock. So don't show up at 9 o'clock in the morning. But
Yeah.
we'll be getting back at 9 o'clock.
We'll be leaving at 7 o'clock a.m. and coming back at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
The UC Davis Pre-Health Conference is also tomorrow. I believe you guys are taking a bus for this trip. It is already full for those of you that are going. You guys are meeting at 6:15 in the morning, and you guys are leaving at 6:35. Try to be here on time because right when 6:35 hits, the bus will just take off. That is an all weekend long conference, so you guys will probably not get back until like Sunday. UC applications are open. They are open, but you can't submit them until November 1st, and it will span until November 1st to the 30th. So if you need help with your UC application, now is a good time to start. Go see Monica, our counselor. Schedule an appointment with her so she can meet you one-on-one, and you guys can look at your classes that you need. And also your essays are also there. Now's a good time to start writing your essays and have them peer edited. We have a couple, talk to instructors. They'll be more than willing to help you if you just talk to them. So yeah. Also, speaking of applications, the CSU ones are already open for state universities. I believe they're due December 1st, but that's an easier application than the UC application, so get them done quickly. UC Davis STEM Transfer Day is in November 6th this year. We only have, COS only got 8 spots that we're allowed to only take 8 students there. So I believe there's already 6 that signed up. So there's 2 more spots left. If you want to go see Dwayne, fill out your waiver form, and give him a $10 deposit to kind of hold your spot. Any deposit that you give for trips, you will get them back when you show up at the vans. So it's not like you're paying them $10. It's just to hold your spot there. If you can just hold up the agenda. For the Seta apparel, we noticed that a lot of the Seta shirts, especially on the gray ones, the ink is fading. So after a couple washes. So if that is happening on yours, we did file a complaint to the to Agiri, which is the shirt company. They have agreed to give us to replace your shirts for us. So we're just if you need your shirts replaced, just go see any of the officers or give it to Dwayne, and we'll file them for you. And you will get once we get enough of them, we'll take them to the shirt company, and they'll replace it, and we'll give them back to you with good printing this time. Hopefully.
But you need them to do that pretty soon, right?
Yes.
To get them turned in. So if you haven't washed that shirt yet, go ahead and wash it to see if you have a problem. Some of you wearing that every day, it's about time you wash it.
Yes. Also, in that line, we are going to order hoodies. We are still working on the design. Couple designs that we're looking at, so we are still trying to find out which one is the best, especially the colors of the hoodies. So yeah.
How much would the hoodies cost?
The hoodies will be $25, and these are going to be pre-orders of hoodies. So if we're just taking into order the amount of people that are pre-ordered, exactly that. So if you don't pre-order one, you won't get anything. And I think we'll try to do two orders, but the first order will go with the shirts. So once that order goes in, then any shirt that we have that needs to be replaced will go with that. So we are doing that pretty soon. So get those in quickly, get those at the next meeting. At the next meeting, we will have the pre-order forms. And so I'll remind you guys in the email again, just bring $25 if you guys want a hoodie. Does anyone have a question? Does anyone have questions so far? Regarding. Okay, and so one more thing, we do have we are trying to start back up on social media. We have Instagram. Our username is COS_Seta, I believe. And Facebook, just look up COS Seta, and it's a group. It's not a profile. Yeah, it's not a page. So just look it up on the groups. COS Seta should be under there. Any questions? Yeah, it's a like thing, not a add friend. Is there any other questions? All right, then without further ado, we'd like to bring up our speaker, which is Mr. Chuck Dichiera of Real World Globes.
I want to thank you very much for having me here. It is exciting to see this larger group of scientists here, engineers, technology. This is just awesome. So it's cool. Give you kind of a little background about me. I was a math teacher for 34 years, okay, and loved teaching. And during that first period of time of teaching, I kind of got interested in the VCR during the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s when it came out. And I think in this community, I was one of the first ones to buy one, to just kind of have it hooked up, and got so involved in it, I saw a connection between technology and learning.
I think you should tell them where you went to school.
Went to school? Yes, that's true. I'm a COS graduate, okay? So I need to share with you, it's nice to know, come back here, okay? To COS. This looks a lot nicer than the facilities that we had back during the early 70s. So this is really nice. And thank you for having me back. My days were with the physics department and the math department, and they always thought I was an engineer also, because I was taking the physics for 4 semesters with all the engineers. So they were kind of surprised I was not an engineer. Instead, I was a mathematician, okay? So it's exciting to be back here, and thank you for having me. And I never thought that I'd be connecting back with scientists after I left education. It's one of those strange things where a teacher I worked with was a neighbor of the owner of the company. His name was Jerry Dyer, and the owner of the company needed some special lesson plans for his globes that he was creating. And so the main reason I got involved with Real World Globes was because of these lesson plans that I created about 5 years ago for him. And you can see it on our website called realworldglobes.com. And we're kind of retooling our website right now so it becomes a little more user-friendly than the way it looked 5 years ago. So we're in the process, and I would say in the next couple months you'll kind of see a major change in our website. In fact, the owner of the company is right back here. His name's Doug Rogers.
Hi.
Our company is located right across from UPS. If you know the UPS area, the Miller Park area. We're a division of Tempo Plastics, and so we build polystyrene products. And you're seeing Richard over here working on the globe right now and just kind of getting a sense of how it's looking. It's made out of a polystyrene product. So you're seeing kind of the inner workings of our product. Put this down. Cool. Anyways, we started out with just globes 5 years ago. And the key thing with the company with globes was that it was satellite imagery. And that's what kind of makes it special, especially the ocean. Because most of the times when you look at a globe, the ocean just looks blue, and there's nothing about how it looks other than it's just kind of blue. Kind of like looking at the map over here, you just kind of see blue. And obviously the ocean is more than just blue. There's a lot of detail to the ocean. And probably some of the first companies that got real excited was Scripps Institute, because they're really involved in ocean studies, and they saw our globes and were like, oh my gosh, you actually have true imagery of the ocean. And so they started purchasing our globes. I don't know, do we have any internet link? Okay, so you got the website right here going. How about the flash drive? Were we able to get the flash drive up and running at all? Let's go with, let's see, there's basically some videos there. Let's go with Cal State Northridge, because that was kind of the one that really kicked us into high gear for a minute. Should be a video that goes with that. I don't know if it'll run. We'll see. If it doesn't, we'll just do the photos. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. So that's the group that really started using our product in the classroom. I'm not sure if it'll play at all or not.
Just shrink it down a little bit.
I don't know if there's a play button, or is it just photos that we got?
On the top right, minimize it.
Yeah, you can.
There you go.
There you go.
There's a play button. There we go. So that'll give you kind of an idea of students using our magnetic globe. And you can see they can break it apart, and there's a core feature for it. The other thing that's kind of special about the globe is you can mark on it. You can use a dry erase, and it doesn't damage the globe. And that kind of makes it very special for using in the classroom, because most people see a globe, they get real nervous about hurting it. And that's not what our globes are meant to do. Our globes are meant for marking on them, studying them. And we've come up with a lot of products that go with the globe. You can see the core of the Earth and taking measurements of the core. And taking it apart. It's just a nice feature of our globe. All right, let's go to another one. Let me give them another feature we can hit. Let's go ahead, Illinois. That'll give them another idea of some of the globes. This is Northern Illinois. We're working with Paul Stoddard. And you're seeing what we call the focal mechanism, where you're studying seismology. And it becomes a real issue mathematically for scientists and professors to teach the concept of earthquakes and the waves that occur once an earthquake occurs. And so they're demonstrating that. We're also seeing a 30-inch Venus, which also you can see they're marking on it. And Paul's really into something that's kind of cool, as you'll see, Star Trek. Okay, he's a Star Trek fanatic, so he made sure on his poster that that was on there. Sure, let's hit another one. This is good. It's good that it's running. Okay, junior high. So you know, here you'll see some students actually go. That's Jeff Vitke. He's one of the owners of the company, the brother of Doug. And that's Joe Rubel, who basically wrote the programs for us to do the projections of the maps that exist on the globes. And this is a junior high at Crozier in LA, Los Angeles, and this was kind of an end of the year project for students to build globes. And we were trying to demonstrate that you do not have to be a scientist to build a globe. You could be a junior high student and still do the same thing. You can see them building different ones, Earth or Venus, and using the maps, or what we call GORs, for the project. It was neat to watch them do that. Okay, let's see. Let's go ahead and model display. That'll be a good one. This is what kind of kicked us into high gear right now. We are now connected with the Outer Planets group a couple years ago. A neat thing happened to us at the American Geophysical Union. The Outer Planets group came up to us and said, you know, Sky and Telescope just dropped us. Why can't you guys pick us up? And we did pick them up. Built some interesting models for them. That's kind of our one, the star globe. And there's the Mars, which everybody's talking about right now. And there's the one that I remember as Mars. That's the topo Mars. And this is a group out of Virginia that's using our globe. And there's our famous Earth one. Somebody holding one. It's cool the way you can see the ocean features on our globes. Topo Earth. And again, Venus. And there we are at AGU with a lot of our products. Cool. It's good. Cool. Let's do the news one. The news one's pretty cool. What's happened to us just this last year. We just received data from JPL. Since if you're going to go to JPL, you will see our Jupiter globe probably at JPL. That seems to be a hot item, and it happened because of our Europa globe. These gentlemen are using our globe to promote a Europa mission, and they did get it green lighted. The mission is going to happen. It was just fun to see that they're using our globe to help people understand going to Europa. And our latest is the GeoGlobe. Nobody has the GeoGlobe. We got permission from CCMW out of Paris for permission to use their data. And we're also selling some of their product now. We've made an agreement with them to sell some of our other stuff. It's good. Good. It's cool. Awesome. Go ahead and hit parts and display. That's kind of our last one. And that'll kind of give you an idea of how the globe starts out, just the pieces. And in fact, that piece right there, the polystyrene, is what got me as a mathematician excited. You're seeing Europa being built. That's my product, the spherical protractor. If you type in spherical protractor, it'll be the #1 hit out there. And there's our grid globe with the spherical ruler. And it kind of has degrees on it, and it also has centimeters on it. So it's a measurement tool on both sides. And we can also put products on the outside of that spherical ruler. And you've seen that one already. Cal State Northridge using it. And there's our focal mechanism that we have as a kit. And again, you see me building a globe. It's kind of weird to think that I am a globe builder now instead of just a teacher. It's kind of nice to be an expert globe builder. I think we're good. If you want to show some pictures, you can open up one of those files. But I like this. I like this one. This is good right there. I like seeing the website. I think we're good on time, so it's good so far. Anyways. What I'd like to let you know about is that we have tools that go with it. This is the spherical protractor. It allows us to put it on a globe and let us take measurements. And what's nice about it is that it doesn't tilt. Whereas you use the protractor on a curved surface, you're going to have all types of issues with it. But because of this small cylinder that's on there, it keeps it perfectly steady, and the center just barely touches the surface of the globe, but allows us to treat it just like all protractors and take measurements. Great for navigational purposes or finding locations on a globe and not having to worry about it. And you saw some of the students using that. And same thing with the ruler. Our spherical ruler that allows us to take measurements. Where usually when you see a globe stand, it's kind of stuck in one location, where this allows us to put it in different locations, and yet it deals with the great circle of the of the sphere. And we got to thank the Exploratorium for that idea. We got that from the Exploratorium. They were doing it with cardboard, and we realized we could manufacture it with the proper mold. And so we're the ones that manufacture that with an 18-inch globe. Those two products alone allow you to do a lot of stuff with the globe. And that's what's kind of nice, is with the dry erase, we can mark on it, and we don't worry about it. It'll come off, because we have a dry erase surface on there. And whereas most globes, they get real nervous. You mark on a globe, it's like, oh no, it's going to wreck it forever. Okay, so it's made to mark on. That's its whole purpose. And you can see I'm not worried about it. I can just take it off with my hands, and it's good. Okay, and we actually can use a wet erase on it also. And that's what makes these globes special. The other thing I want to share with you is that how these maps are done. This is Richard over here, and he's building one. This is what we call a gore. And when we first started 5 years ago, they were a 15-degree wide map for each one of these, and it just kind of puckered. When we started laying them down, we sensed 5 years ago they just didn't lay down nice enough, so we went to a 10-degree. Now the problem is it makes more of these to have to lay down. You know, you got 36 on the top, and you got 36 on the bottom, so you're laying down 72 maps on any one of these globes. So there's a real art to laying these down besides the science. And what makes us special is Joe's program. Okay, Joe works for Esri, and he's been doing this all his life.
What's Esri?
Earth Satellite Remote Imagery. And Esri provides data for cities and countries all across the world. And he wrote the programs that helps Esri out, and he wrote this program for the projections, so that when you take the data of a flat information, it fits properly on a curved surface, so there isn't this distortion that goes on. And he owns the copyright to that, and that's what kind of helps us. And that's part of the reason NASA gets real excited with it buying from us, because they've looked at our globes and they kind of went crazy over it. They've never seen the data that we've had or the quality we've had. We also do something kind of different also. There's two techniques in building a globe. One of the techniques is what we call butt, where when you put a map together, they just butt up against each other. And the problem that occurs with that is if you have any slight mistake or distortion, you're going to see some gappage right away on the globe. And we don't do a butt technique. We use what we call an overlap technique. And you'll kind of see that if you come closer to one of our globes, you'll kind of see a slight ridge or overlap. And it allows for any slight mistakes that go on. You can line things up when you're laying it down, because one is going to lay on top of the other. There's like a slight overlap or a slight printing on both sides that are the same, and then you can lay down one printing on top of another printing. And the other thing that's real good about overlap, it creates a structure of solidness once you lay it down. It's a lot stronger globe with the overlap compared to the butt technique, where you're not going to have any strength with the butt technique. The only strength is going to be the surface you're laying it down on at that point. So with our overlap technique, we create a real strong globe. But you will see slight ridges because of the overlap technique. And we've gone through a process. As I told you, we went from a 15-degree gore to a 10-degree gore. We've changed some quality of the surface, a little thicker, a little stronger than we originally had 5 years ago. Some real nice techniques. We also developed some things that nobody else has, so I'll kind of share with you some stuff. We created equator strips that really kind of clean up the hemispheres when they're connecting, because you may have a little bit of gappage, and you can fix that gappage with the equator strips. Also, we have what we call pole caps. So we fix the North Pole, South Pole with our caps. A lot of times the way they fit are not perfect. So we can cover up a little bit of the imperfection with the pole caps. And the other thing that's kind of cool is we've got what we call calibration poles, which nobody else really thought of. So we know how to lay down our maps accurately. Because you as students know that if you have a slight mistake in one spot, when you keep going with that mistake, it just kind of grows. And you really need to be careful with that. You do not want to have too much error, because the farther you go along with 36 gores, the worse it can get if you're not careful. We also, if you look at Richard working on right now, he said put in what we call the calibration strips. And can I grab that from you, Richard, for a minute? You know, so it really helps you lay down the maps. If you're building it, you can see our 10-degree laydowns that exist here. So you know where you should be laying it down, because I remember the first time I was teaching Richard and my son how to do this, the first thing they did is like, we don't need to follow the rules on the calibration strips. We'll just look to see if it lays down nicely, and they line up, and the error just got worse and worse and worse, so that when they got to the last gore, there was at least 10 to 15 degrees of space that didn't exist, right? Am I correct? So luckily it was in the Pacific Ocean, so we just cut some more gores and say, hey, we'll make the Pacific Ocean a little bigger this time. But it became their map, their globes. We did not sell them. But it was part of the learning process, you know, because after a while, I'm not going to tell them, let them learn and discover that there's going to be some major gappage as you go along. So if you really follow that, it's closer. Yes, Larry.
Can you walk us through maybe the process of how like the Europa globe was made, like from what images you used and how it got to the globe that you finally produced?
You bet. How it worked is that we had the officers of the Outer Planets group helping us out, and specifically David Williams out at ASU was sharing the data points that he had. And we took those data points and made them into a map. And if you kind of start seeing this, you start putting these together, you'll kind of see it becomes actually a complete circle with the mappage that's going with it.
Do you want to put those on the overhead?
Sure, you betcha. Be glad to.
Don, could you help them put that up on the overhead?
Yeah, that's a good idea. So you can kind of see how they look. Here, I'll put it at the top where you see the, cool, that's good. You can kind of see how it's looking. They're pretty close together at the top. There's not too much overlap. You'll see that it's pretty tight, but the farther down you go, you'll see that there's data that's the same. And here, I'll show you. You see these tick marks right here? That's where you want to line up those tick marks. We actually have put some tick marks in here to help you see how they should line up. Is that kind of nice?
And the computer software that you say was written, that generates how it takes that data and that splits it into this.
Yes, and that's Joe Rubel's computer program. But he'll take the data that they have and translate it into a projection. And that's what's kind of nice about it. Now, Joe has been doing this ever since he graduated from college and been learning what you call old school globe building, but then integrating it to new school, which is computer printing. And he was physically cutting these out with scissors. And Doug introduced him to the die cut technique. And the die cut's been really nice. And you kind of see our overlap right here at the top. You kind of see that little cut in that exists there. That's what kind of helps us to guide us what our overlap should be when we're laying them down. To cover up that little cut that's in there each time. Does that make sense? And you don't want to overlap too much because you're going to create a lot of puckering. It's like you don't want to not overlap at all because you're going to have some gappage down near the bottom. We also have to play with colors, and that's where Jeff Lipke really helps us because he's another member of our group, and he works for Esri also, and his specialty is dealing with colorization. When we first got started, our first demo with the Outer Planets group was Io, and the first one that we printed up looked kind of muddy, had a muddy feel to it, and if you look at Io on the internet, it really has some real colorization to it. And so we spent some time back and forth between David Williams and Jeff Lidke trying to figure out the colorization back and forth on the internet.
Io is the volcanic mud?
Yeah, that's the one. You got it. You got it. And you've got
Pizza Planet.
yeah. The other thing that's kind of unique, we did not want to do small globes. Okay, and you're seeing a small one right here. But when the Outer Planets group came and saw us, that was kind of one of the catch points for us to do this. They said, you know, we want a 10-inch globe so we can put it on our desk. You know, because it's kind of hard to put an 18-inch globe on your desk. It's great for the classroom and letting people look at it, but 10-inch globe's kind of nice to let sit on your desk. And the other thing that we had to spend some time on is talking to different scientists of the Outer Planets group to get the names of different locations on the moon, because it was real important for them to have the names on the globe. Okay, so we had to really work with them to make sure that our information and their information was correct. And then you're looking at Callisto right here. This is Callisto. We're doing great.
So who has your 30-inch globes?
What's that?
Who has your 30-inch globes?
We have one 30-inch globe. Actually, we have two in our shop right now. We have a World 30-inch, and we also have the new Geo 30-inch in our facility. But a lot of places have it right now. We have JPL has our 30-inch Europa, which you will probably see tomorrow. And they were demonstrating last year, and I have a feeling it'll be out there this year. And part of the reason is that this one was out at the JPL last year, and the Jupiter group was there also. But guess what size the Jupiter globe was? It was the JPL. What size do you guys think it was? It's a little 12-incher, okay? And it looked kind of embarrassing. Here's Europa, one of the moons, 30-inch. And Jupiter, the guys that are talking about Jupiter holding a little 12-inch, you know, a couple aisles away. And they got real uptight. They're going, no, 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 no. We could have two Jupiters. So JPL has two of our Jupiter 30 inches right now. And to me, the 30 inchers are really spectacular. I mean, they just kind of, whoa, nice piece. Let's see, I'm thinking who else would have it. I think Northern Illinois has a 30-inch, a couple 30 inches. Do you know, Doug, do you have anything on the top of your head who else has a 30-inch? Yeah, that's what I thought. And then Scripps have a 30-inch also? No? Okay.
You have a picture of a 30-inch like next to a person or something, so it gives them kind of sense of
Oh,
scale.
gosh, I don't know. Well, the closest one was we have under the news. Go ahead and open up the news if you want to on there. Yeah, there you go. There's one right there. There's.
Switch over to the PC.
How do you switch on? There you go. There's Doug, our owner of the company. With who's the gentleman there with him, Doug?
Oh, Steinbach, he's in the oil business in Houston.
Yeah. Okay.
So the geology, well, they love it. That's what they're doing. Is thinking about where on earth are you going to find hydrocarbon?
Yeah. Anyways, that's our latest. It's been fun. As you can see, there's the scientists from JPL using our globes. It's been fun to watch it just kind of transition. Put us in a different ballpark once this happened. That's the JPL from last year.
Thank you.
That's perfect. That's good. Well, I'm going to stop here for a minute and give you guys a chance to ask questions. Do you guys have any questions of me or Doug or Richard about it? Yes.
Prices?
Yeah, okay. For a 10-inch, if you want to have it as a kit, it's $100. And we provide a DVD that goes with it that gives an explanation of how it's done and information how to build it. And I like the 10 inches. They're fun to build. And they only take about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to build. Have a fun little product, and you can set it somewhere.
And once again, where are you located?
We're located right across from UPS in Miller Park. It's called Tempo Plastics. We're a division of Tempo Plastics. And you'll see a lot of other polystyrene products. The other thing you need to know about Tempo Plastics, it's the only facility in Tulare County that recycles polystyrene. You notice I'm Doug, I'm saying polystyrene.
Richard, how long does it take you to build one of the big globes?
It depends on how experienced you are and how nicely you want it done or how quickly you want it done. Anywhere from
Done?
Yes.
Like this.
Yeah, so like for the 10-inch, if you want us to build it, it'll be just $50 more, and we will build the globe for you. For the 18-inch built, it's $288. It's a little more expensive built. As a kit, what are we charging for a kit? Is it 180? What's that? Yeah, that's what I thought. $188, we'll sell you a kit. Much like what you see Richard doing right now with an 18-inch. He's building Mars.
The gores that you lay on, is it like a peel and stick?
Yeah, it's a sticker. It's exactly it. It's a peel and stick. And the other thing we've learned this last year, we had some ladies helping us with the focal mechanisms and building a lot of them. We've learned that using a hair dryer on them really helps mold the gores to the polystyrene. There's kind of a melting process. It's enough to get the glue to really loosen up, and the polystyrene actually changes just slightly, and they really bond between each other. So we use a hair dryer on there, and within, I would say, 10 seconds, we're amazed how they just really bond and become one. You're not going to take them apart at that point. Yes?
With the new images of Pluto coming out, are you planning on that?
Yeah, we're kind of waiting just because they keep getting more data. And we'd hate to jump in. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard it. That Mercury is the one we're really pushing for right now because we've got a lot of solid data on Mercury. So we figure Mercury is going to be our next one. We're talking to some scientists right now, and that's probably the next one you're going to see. But yeah, we talked about it, but yet there's still so much data still coming.
and they won't finish creating their data for like what, a year and a half?
Yeah,
Just for the transmission.
but I bet we'll get hit. Yes.
So this kind of goes with my question, I guess, is data. One of the things that really caught my attention is the owner, I guess, what really made that company take off was he wrote the code to take a topographical two-dimensional to the three-dimensional. I guess my question is on the coding, how important it is. The question, do you guys have any technical staff that kind of still deals with coding issues?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. In fact, Joe is kind of our expert at that end. And what's kind of cool about our company is that we can take your data and really translate it into a globe that you would want. It'll cost more, but a lot cheaper than Sky and Telescope. I mean, we're willing to take somebody's data and make it into a globe. And that's kind of the one hot thing about our company is how quickly we can turn that around. So to give you an idea, when we did the 4 moons, we did it in just a little over 3 months. You know, and it really kind of surprised them how quickly we turned it around for them. And, you know, the IO that was kind of muddy, we didn't even ship it to them. I just took pictures, emailed it, and they were like in shock that we already had a demo ready to go.
And the owner owns the patent on the coating.
Yeah. And that's part of what makes us kind of special, is because of that. And it was really because of old school blending with new school. It's kind of it's a hybrid, you know, in the sense that we have the ability to use modern data, modern information, but at the same time, do old school, as you can see, handcrafted product in a quick turnaround.
Hold it up, maybe you can see. We're starting to lay it down on there.
Yeah, you're starting to see the laydown. In fact, one of the rules we've learned, okay, is that when you lay it down, we take the map that has the legend, because it's probably the hardest thing to line up. You do not want the legend to look kind of weird. So we will purposely put the legend down first, because we don't want it, you know, if somebody's buying the globe and the legend's all weird, it would be like, oh, wait a minute here, these guys don't know what they're doing. So we make sure that legend gets nicely laid down before we do anything else. Yes?
Could you make globes that could be suspended in the air?
Yeah, definitely. It would be neat. It would take,
On our website.
yeah. They're really light. Let me kind of give you an idea how easy it is, okay, to suspend them. It always surprises people how light they are. Yeah, you see the shape and you think it's really heavy, right? Yeah, I mean, you don't look at it like, oh, you're Atlas. Oh, I mean, it is very light. Okay, and that's what kind of surprises people also, is the lightness of this product, because it's polystyrene, basically.
Are they pretty durable if you would drop it on the floor?
Yeah,
I'm just thinking in school, you
It handles it, because it's still a sphere, and sphere has a lot of strength to it, okay? So yeah, but I mean, I could dent it if I really hit it. It'll have some denting in there, because it's still polystyrene. But in fact, the one that we always kind of laugh about, when we first did this, we had to ship these to Washington, D.C. for an Outer Planets conference. And if you ever work with UPS, once in a while, the UPS gentlemen don't treat your boxes too well. And we didn't double box it the first time we shipped. So it got there in perfect shape when it went to Washington, D.C. When one of our globes came back from Washington, D.C., Ganymede had a problem. Somebody had taken the box and literally kicked the box, okay? And shifted the hemispheres. I mean, literally shifted it, okay? And
there's a meteor strike.
yeah, it was a major meteor strike. But I got to demonstrate that I could fix it. And I actually did take some of the gores off, take some of the tape off, align the hemispheres back together, put it back together. And we did have somebody purchase the globe afterwards. It looked good. But when you saw it, it's like, oh my gosh, it did kick it. That was repairable. Yes?
Where do you see the company 5 years from now?
Wow, that's a good question. Because it's pretty exciting what's going on right now with this. I mean, where we get, you know, CCMW wanting to link with us, it's pretty awesome, because, you know, they now have booklets, you know, dealing with, you know, the classic shifting of the earth, you know, and they have it in English and in Spanish. So we haven't really promoted this a whole lot. We just got permission just recently. You know, magnetic fields for the classroom. And these have CDs or DVDs to kind of work with them. We have maps now that we can offer besides globes. So now we've kind of expanded into the map field besides the globe field. So I'm kind of surprised where we're at, because I was thinking 5 years ago, we were just looking at, am I right, Doug? We just had Earth, and that was it. And we did not even have any of these products, you know, that go along with it, where you can work with the globes. And I'm kind of excited about it. You know, there's a group of us who just like, it just keeps moving forward. It's been fun being a part of it. Cool. Thank you very much. Sounds like my time's up.
And is it okay afterwards if they come up and take a look?
You bet. And we have flyers, information, got my cards here if anybody's interested. Definitely. And feel free to touch them. It's okay.
Great. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dichiera. And if you have any questions after, feel free to go ask them. I'm pretty sure he'll be willing to ask you. Please be gentle with the globes, though. Try not to be too crowded with them. Yes. Don't be like UPS. All right, raffles. Let's have raffles ready. All right, before I do the raffles, we do have the science club meeting, the math club meeting, Gem 107, right after this, and then the Fire Porch meeting will be here. All right, last three numbers, 467. 467. All right, you want to give it? How many do we have? Four. Okay. 520. All right. 496. 496.
496. Anything from across the hall?
They'll come running in. There's a delay, I noticed on my phone. 495. Who was before that?
496, 495 now?
496 or 495. Anyone's across the hall? You want to choose one back there?
460.
Yeah. Oh, just give us. Yeah. 521. All right. All right. Again, Mr. Dichiera will be here. This concludes our SETA meeting. Thank you, everyone, and see you in 2 weeks.
Cynthia, actually, that'd be good. It's always changing. Yeah, definitely talk to our geology professor. I wish he had come, but oh my God. Okay. But I think that he has like, it's kind of cool. It's for chalkboard surface globe with chalk. So I'm thinking with chalkboard surface globe. So I'm thinking like if we had dry erase for that, I mean, it really would be a lot easier.
See what he means about the.
That way you can have the surface of the earth and be drawn on top of that.
And that's what's kind of neat to see how Tom really kicked up.
Yeah. And then
I'm still,
I'd be interested like in some of those
Still working on that, Bill. Yeah, you can write on.
Oh, yeah, there is, they haven't had any satellite imagery. What's really funny is that we're putting things like, wow.
Your own built-in highway system on it.
It's not that we've never had a satellite go by. Yes, especially when the Venus can go around Jupiter, part of it.
When is that one?
We're on these couple
2016.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be interesting, I'm sure.
I think so. Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Part of numbers of JPL, NASA, or professors.
So it's like.
The Jupiter. You know, what would be?
They have the connection we have is kind of a unique connection.
Like middle?
We've got European Space Agency.
Oh, no, these are actual zones. The top part is like the
Numbers.
It's a similar.
I've seen. It's been fun. Cool. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's considered carrying layers of rock. That's cool. It says right here, it says, Citadel. Oh, these are on the top. Yeah, so it's the same carrying layers of rock.
I didn't realize.
It's cool.
I
I can see why the guy was.
have actually taken.
This is the one.